Welcome to round number 1. Here we are with a reasonable opening hand on the play. Obviously, it doesn't come out of the gates particularly fast. We do not have any real acceleration, though the power of Ancient Stirrings can get us there. Opponent just saying hello and the usual good luck, have fun, the like. We're probably not willing to start off with a Overgrown Tomb, and more likely don't really need to when we have a Twilight Mire to sort of fix that. I think it's pretty hard not to grab the Eldrazi Temple here, since otherwise we're just too slow. I mean, I do have this Fatal Push to get some work done, to buy us some time, and we do have another Ancient Stirrings to hopefully find us another threat. So I think it's pretty resounding Eldrazi Temple there. Oath of Nissa. Okay, so likely... Ooh, Oath of Nissa and Devoted Druid. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure what our opponent is up to here. Oh, the old Bearer of Silence. Yeah, I mean... it's probably better. I was hoping for a larger threat. Bearer of Silence, not exactly what we want here, but we'll take it. Especially since it doesn't, a reminder doesn't work profitably with Eldrazi Temple, so we do have to wait an additional turn to do that. But that's okay. We wanted to Thought Knot next turn anyway. We'll play the Verdant Catacombs to ensure that we have Fatal Push mana available here, should our opponent go for their Devoted Druid or anything else, really. So I feel like we're in a reasonable spot here. We just kind of have to find something to follow up with after the Thought Knot. An Oath of Nissa Devoted Druid Overgrown Tomb deck is probably not super efficient on removal. Probably has very little. So this Thought Knot should likely be good for a while. We just have to ensure that it doesn't get outclassed on board. And the Bearer should help with that as well. Obviously, these Fatal Pushes should also do that, but... Opponent asking if I can pay the Bearer of Silence trigger with the Eldrazi Temple, since they know I'll give them an honest answer, since we're just in a league here. But they, of course, like I said, we cannot do so. It's faster than them Googling it, right? It saves us both time for them to just ask if they know I'm willing to tell them. Well, that's unfortunate. They actually have Fetch Land double Fatal Push. So this Thought Knot is not good enough to go the distance. Primal Command, kind of their only, like, long-term productive thing. Looks like there's some kind of green-black Devotion deck. Although if they have Devoted Druid, they likely, maybe they're an Abzan, kind of splashing black, splashing white. They probably have at least one Vizier and like one white land, potentially more. It's either the Ewit or the Primal Command. I don't really see taking the Fatal Push as being great here. This Primal Command is going to give me fits eventually. We're really not that far off with my opponent casting Ewit or Arbor Elf next turn, though I could kill the Arbor Elf. The Ewit's just going to give me a lot of trouble, too. I think I'll just kill the Arbor Elf and take the Ewit, or hope to find, like, Thoughtseize or something of the sort. Another Thought Knot Seer, of course, before we get got by that Primal Command. I could be wrong, though. It's not like the Ewit's recurring anything, like, super exciting right now. It's just, in the long run, like, kind of irritating. I mean, getting back the Devoted Druid's not great for me. But it would mean that they had no action. They opted not to play the Arbor Elf. Maybe they just wanted to have 2 pushes up. Or they just didn't want me to Bearer of Silence it, perhaps. Another Eldrazi Temple. So leaving up double Fatal Push. I wonder if I, like, don't want this Reshaper to get pushed. I think I'm actually in a spot where I need this Reshaper to live. It's kind of weird. Like, my opponent spending a card, killing a Reshaper is usually, like, something we're kind of okay with, but they don't have another way to trigger Revolt. Yeah, I mean, I'll Bearer of Silence that, but they did get value off of it, unfortunately. Shuffle away the Sprawl to play the Arbor Elf, and they have another Primal Command on top. Yeah. Yeah, this is trouble for us. So I'm obviously a mana short of Matter Reshaper and Bearer. I guess I can tap both these for 2. 1. No, actually I can do them both. Yeah, okay, never mind. I was for some reason thinking I couldn't use both of these the way I wanted to. So we'll take this down to 1. And then cast this. Get the trigger. So the rare occasion of Eldrazi Temple actually kind of helping with the Bearer of Silence, since we were able to spend 1 mana on the actual cost of the Eldrazi and funnel the other mana into another Eldrazi. Putting that on top and searching for a creature card. Yeah, so we're going to get a bad draw, and they're going to tutor whatever they want, which puts us in a pretty bad spot since they have another Primal Command. Perhaps should have just taken the 1. I mean, obviously that wouldn't have stopped the other one, but obviously we draw Eldrazi Temple as expected. Opponent could make the exact same play if they wanted, but it's not very profitable for them when we're also bashing. They just get a Polukranos and also found another Devoted Druid. We find another land, though, so we are flooding quite a bit here, unfortunately. I'm going to get in with the Bearer, at least, since it does have flying. Slightly, in this case, slightly better than a Necrotal, I guess, for that reason, although not really, but we'll get this Verdant Catacomb into play. That way, if we get commanded again, we can shuffle. I mean, they can target this, but then we can just crack it, so that wouldn't be good for them either, since it would fizzle the spell depending on their modes. So yeah, happy to have the Verdant Catacombs in play. If we did have to draw land, at least it was that one, I guess. Opponent perhaps just using Polukranos here. No, they in fact use Primal Command again. Put a land on top. Grab Vizier, and now they have infinite mana, so they get to make an infinitely large Polukranos. So Utopia Sprawl fixing their mana here. And they get to kill us with Polukranos killing. I guess I could have I could hit either Matter Reshaper or Bearer or Scoos, right? That was a little loose on my part. But looks like we were just... No, I had to fetch. Yeah. I just needed to fetch and hope they hit something. I just didn't want to make them have to click like 80 times since it was going to be quite a lot of mana they needed. But I guess they also had... Did they have Revolt this turn? When was this fetch? Because obviously they do a Fatal Push. So it would have to be exactly additional Mana Reshaper. It couldn't be Ooze or... couldn't be Ooze or the other thing. Their last card was a push. Yeah, they didn't have... So I should have checked to see if I was going to get exactly Matter Reshaper off the trigger. Oh well. Not terribly likely, but still should have done so. So we definitely want to have sort of maximum removal in this matchup. I also really like the Thoughtseizes here since they only have so much actual payoff. I don't hate the Last Hopes. They have a lot of X1s in their deck. between Vizier and Ewit and the Dorks. Sometimes Druid. Slaughter Pact is probably great here, and then potentially Mouse Repulse. Really just kind of a lot of removal. I'm not really interested in Relic or Corrosion. And I think Veil is pretty bad here. Since I don't typically like Veil against the Mana Dork deck. Sometimes the taking it up can be worth a lot, but I also don't mind shaving an Ooze here. Could shave an Endbringer. At least one, I think. Yeah, I've obviously just decided in like a million cards here. I think I cut the Bears, even though they're technically removable. They're just very slow and clunky. And I'm siding in a lot of really efficient stuff. These Pulses might be a mistake, but I kind of like them for their non-creature threats. Like they probably have Garruk. I could also shave on Matter Reshapers. They don't feel like they're going to be outstanding in the matchup. And I really don't want to cut more removal. Scavenging Use seems better for the most part. I do want my own birds, especially since they're going to be removal light. I would rather just have the Last Hopes and Maelstrom Pulses in this slot, I think. Mismatching birds, how sad. I think we keep this one. We do get to come out of the gate with a bird. And we have push or push bird or reshaper next turn. I forgot I had one mismatching bird in right now. Very sad. See if this gets fatal push. That would be fine. Yeah, okay. Slow us down a little bit. Doesn't actually make sense for me to name Eldrazi here, does it? I guess it just doesn't matter what I name. Like the only creature I have. I guess the Ooze could matter. I'm just going to name Eldrazi. Like I could use this for green mana for Ooze like way down the line. If I also have like basic swamp or another colorless land. But pretty risky to Slaughter Pact that Devoted Druid since we missed our land. But it is a huge bummer to not do anything proactive this turn. I also don't think they can let this live. So I guess I just have to fatal push this. I'm just not willing to lose the game to a fatal push in this spot, unfortunately. My opponent missed their land drop and did not push my bird. Am I willing to lose to a fatal push now? This is less like must kill, but they did miss their land drop. I feel like this is one of those plays that I really don't want to make because if I make it and we lose, it's going to feel like really bad and look terrible, but I mean, it also prohibits me from casting Thought on Seer if I draw land. I guess we'll let it go. Yeah, I mean, still letting it happen. It was certainly a good turn for my opponent. Yeah, it looks like they didn't have push, so I probably could have gotten away with it, but... Oh no, that's not what we needed at all. So it's the difference between 5 and 7 mana? That's not very relevant. Don't think I should have attacked for sure, but I don't think I'm supposed to kill their Arbor Elf. They're still in Primal Command range without... Yeah. Pretty bad stuff. So, like, even if I Slaughter Pact there, I just lose. So the only thing I really could have done differently this game was Slaughter Pact really early. Like the Arbor Elf turn where we, like... Or even the Devoted Druid turn. I just don't know. Maybe I'm too avoidant of, like, just losing the game on the spot. Maybe I'm trying to avoid the field beds, even though it's the right play. It feels incredibly risky. Obviously, they've already used one Fatal Push, which makes it a little less so. And obviously, we also missed our land drops here a bunch, making this look even worse for us. But I don't know. It's a tough one. I could have also Slaughter Pacted it this turn in case they, like, didn't have a land drop to stop them from Titaning, but it's probably more important for me to Slaughter Pact the Titan since they could easily just hit a land. Plus, I mean, at this point, I lose Primal Command, but I basically do anyway, right? I can't really beat any more spells from here. It's going to be already pretty hard just to beat this board, right? So from here, we probably start with a Thought Knot. And then Slaughter Pact. We do lose to Removal Spell. Oh my. Well, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. I probably should leave this back, actually. Well, they're just going to be casting Tireless Trackers. It's not like they're going to. I probably should have figured out they had a tracker when they grabbed the Wooded Foothills, but it may make sense to do that just in case they could draw tracker. 2 trackers is a bit scary, though. They also still just have a ton of mana with this Nykthos. Looks like they're just going to go for the value play. I mean, I don't really see how they lose from here anyway. I mean, I guess we could have, like, running Smashers to maybe put a bunch of pressure on. But they even still get to Kessig me for 1,000,000 this turn, if they wish. Looks like they're just setting up for a kill next turn, which is fine. Like, then they leave plenty on defense as well, and there's just, like, no way I can kill them in the meantime. Maybe they can just kill me now with a Garruk. Untap Nykthos. Untap Utopia Sprawl land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so 11 red is 12. Activate down to 10. Casting for 10. No, they can't. They're still very far away from killing me since these trackers obviously can't attack. They need still a lot more mana. But that's fine. In the meantime, they'll just draw 1,000,000 cards and make their trackers even bigger. And I also have to pay for my pact. So there's just actually no freaking way that we could possibly win this game. But we'll let our opponent have their fun. That does look like pretty fun to me. So we'll quote unquote play it out. Ooh, crumple to dust. All right. Maybe that's gonna be it for us. All right, I will see you in round number 2.